Now, when most people think volcanic eruptions at Yellowstone, they think of the big, huge explosions, right? Like the one that formed the caldera about 631,000 years ago. But that's not the most common form of eruption in Yellowstone. That belongs to lava flows. And we're not talking about the lava flows you might see in Hawaii, the thin, runny flows. We're talking about really, really thick, viscous flows of rhyolite lava. And that doesn't form those thin flows, it forms mountains, like what we have behind us here. These are rhyolite lava flows that erupted since the formation of Yellowstone caldera. Now, these rhyolite lava flows don't come out evenly spaced over time. They seem to come out in clusters. So you'd have several lava flows and then tens of thousands of years of nothing, and then several lava flows and tens of thousands of years of nothing. Right now, we're in one of those periods of tens of thousands of years of nothing. The most recent lava flow occurred about 70,000 years ago. But that's also the most likely form of any future activity at Yellowstone. It's not something we're worried about in the near term because the Yellowstone magma chamber is mostly solid. We know this from seismic imaging. But any future eruptive activity is probably going to be a lava flow, forming these massive walls of rock that would move across the landscape. Well, that's the story of lava flows in Yellowstone. Now let's talk about seismic activity, deformation, and geyser activity that occurred over the course of the last month.
During the month of August, seismic activity in the Yellowstone region remained at background levels. The University of Utah located 94 earthquakes during the month. The largest, which was felt by some people in the region, was a magnitude 3.7, and that occurred on August 19th in this area in the northwest part of the park between Hebgen Lake and the Norris Geyser Basin area where we see most of the seismicity in the region. There was also one small swarm of about 10 events that occurred just to the east of Lower Geyser Basin that occurred right at the end of August. Turning now to ground deformation, this is vertical deformation at a GPS station near Lake. Each one of these blue dots is 1 day of data, and the entire plot spans the last 2 years. These downward trends indicate overall subsidence, and that's been ongoing since 2015 to 2016, but it's interrupted in the summer months by a small amount of uplift, and that's due to groundwater recharge from spring runoff and snowmelt. You can see that we are in the midst of one of those summertime pauses in the subsidence. It started in May or June, and we've seen just about a centimeter or so of uplift at this particular site in the east side of the caldera, so less than a fraction of an inch or so since the summer began. And finally now looking at the tallest geyser in the world, Steamboat Geyser. This is the temperature recorded in the runoff channel during the month of August. And these up and down motions that are occurring every day are just the daily temperature variations. Superimposed on that is a little bit of minor eruptive activity, but really not much, not suggesting that we're in line for a major eruption anytime soon. There have only been 2 major eruptions of the geysers so far this year. That's the fewest since the episode of activity that we're currently in began back in 2018. So it's really suggesting that Steamboat is going back to sleep. We did see one very small eruption of Black Diamond Pool in Biscuit Basin. That's where the large hydrothermal explosion occurred on July 23rd of 2024. It only threw muddy water up a few feet, maybe a meter or so, but it was well recorded by the webcam, beautiful sunset in the background, and it was also recorded by the new seismic and acoustic monitoring that was installed in the area in late July. So Black Diamond Pool in Biscuit Basin remains active.
Well, that does it for the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory Monthly Update. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop us a line. Our email address is yvowebteam, all one word, @usgs.gov. We will see you next month, so until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye.